Again, good evening. This evening, we will be discussing Chapter 4, Revenue and Other Receipts for Government Accounting and Accounting for Non-for-Profit Organization. The learning objectives for this chapter are, una, let's discuss the fundamental principles for revenue. Ano ba yung mga kailangang malaman before we collect, and also the rules about revenue. Next is to state the sources of revenue of government entity. Saan ba nanggagaling yung revenue ng government? Lagi lang bang taxes? Okay. And last is to state the recognition and measurement principle ng revenue. In each sources, ano ba yung recognition and measurement principle? What is the difference between revenue and receipts? Revenue is the gross inflow of economic benefits or service potential during reporting period, which when those inflows result in an increase in equity other than increases relating to contribution from owners. Example, interest income, sales, revenue yon. Merong ano na rin naman natin recognition principle ng revenue. Ito yung meaning. It is the meaning of revenue. Revenue can be na-receive na or receivable. Like for example, when you record debit interest receivable, credit interest income. In that way, yung interest revenue na. But what is its difference sa receipts? Sa receipt, meron ng actual collection. Actual collection from all sources during a period. Sa government kasi, ang revenue, makikita natin yan sa income statement, sa portion ng income. Si receipts, saan natin nakikita? Sa cash flow. All cash inflow. Receipts. Receipts can be coming from revenue. Ito yun Receipts can be coming from revenue, but not all receipts are revenue. Example natin dyan, nag-liquidate ka ng cash advance. In liquidation of cash advance, kunyari may sobrang pera, nagbigay ka ng cash advance sa kanya for traveling, 500 pesos. Ang nagastos niya lang 450. Si government agency, makaka-receive ng resibo worth 450 pesos plus makaka-receive siya ng 50 pesos. Ang tawag doon, receipts. Pero revenue ba yon? Hindi. So, that is the difference between revenue and receipts. So, let's go now to the fundamental principles for revenue. Marami ito. So, iisa-isahin natin. Ano-ano ba yung rules or principles for revenue? First, all revenue accruing to an entity or a government entity by virtue of the provision of existing law, orders, and regulations shall be deposited or remitted in the national treasury or in any duly authorized government depository and shall accrue to the general fund of the national government. Ano ibig sabihin? General rule. Pag nakakolek, i-remit. When a government agency collects revenue, all that collection should be remitted to Bureau of Treasury. Next, except as may otherwise be specifically provided by law or competent authority, all money and property officially received by a public officer in any capacity or upon any occasion must be accounted for as government funds and government property. Way provided by law and or competent authority. Lahat yan is i-account as government funds. government property. Kahit na kanino pa yung pangangalaga. Yun kasi ang nagiging problema. Yan yung, kunyari meron kasing mga local government officials, akala nila, pag naka-receive sila ng pera, or kunyari cash advance, is pera na nila yun. Pera yun ng gobyerno. Akala ng ibang official, pag nakaupo ka sa pwesto, yung pera na nakukolek galing sa buwis ng tao, ay pera niya. Or akala niya, lahat ng budget na ibinibigay sa kanya ng DBM, pinoprovide ng BTR, is pwede niyang gastusin kahit saan. It should always be accounted for as government funds and government property. Next principle is amount received in trust and for business type activities of government may be separately recorded and disbursed in accordance with such rules and regulation. Remember that we have fund clustering. Sa fund clustering 7 yon. Sa 7 fund clusters, meron dong for business type at saka merong trust receipt. Ito, i-account mo separately. And you cannot disburse na hindi sinasabi kung saan o kung in accordance with the purpose kung ano yung fund na yon. Kunyari doon sa trust fund, ang sabi doon sa trust fund is ibibigay ko muna sa'yo, kunyari kay Land Bank. Land Bank sa'yo muna yung perang yan kasi meron akong naka-binbin na kaso. Yung government agency may nakabinbin na kaso. So, Land Bank sa'yo yung muna yung pera kasi kung sakasakaling matalo ako sa kaso, pwede kong kunin yung pera yun at iyon ang ipambayad ko for damages. Ngayon, the government agency, si government agency na nag-deposit kay Land Bank, hindi niya yun pwedeng withdrawin for any other purposes. Yun yung para sa trust and business type activities. Next is, receipt shall be recorded as a revenue of special, fiduciary, or trust fund or fund other than the general fund only when authorized by law as implemented by rules and regulation issued by permanent committee. Ano ba kasi yung general rule natin kanina? All collection should accrue saan? Sa general fund. Ito yung exemption. Unless exempted daw, if authorized by law, so mag-a-accrue yun sa special, fiduciary, or trust fund. General law, general fund. O generally, sa general fund. So, yan yung isa pa sa fundamental principle. Meron pa. Another is, no payment at any nature shall be received by a collecting officer without immediately issuing an official receipt in acknowledgement thereof. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ganito yan. Wag na wag kang magbabayad sa any government agency na hindi ka bibigyan ng resibo. Ma'am, ganito po kasi sa probinsya po namin, napakalayo ng munisipyo namin. Magbabayad po ako ng amilyar. Pagdating ko po kasi doon, wala pong resibo yung treasurer. Ang layo po ng pinuntahan ko. Ano po bang gagawin ko doon? Pwede po ba akong magbayad doon tapos balikan ko na lang yung resibo? Sabi natin, no payment at any nature shall be received by a collecting officer without immediately issuing official receipt. Kasi dyan po nagsisimula yung corruption. Kasi yun yung paper trail na nagbayad ka nung amilyar mo. Kung hindi ka bibigyan ng resibo, ano yung proof mo na yung bayad mo is maire-remit natin or mariremit ng agency na yon sa Bureau of Treasury. Okay? So, yun yung para dun sa ano na yan. Yan yung para dun sa principle na yan. Next, where mechanical devices, example, electronic official receipts, are used to acknowledge cash receipt, the COA may approve, upon request, an exemption from the use of the accountable forms. yung resibo po kasi, ang resibo natin sa government is printed ng isang government agency. Ang tawag po sa kanya is the National Printing Office. Yan. Siya po ang nagpro-provide ng mga resibo. And yung resibo na yon is included sa tinatawag nating accountable forms. When we say accountable forms, it should be always complete, sunod-sunod, with numbers, any serial number or form na nawawala dyan should be accounted for. Kaya ang resibo ng government, guys, hindi lang yan basta ini-issue ng hindi ina-account. Kasi hindi pwedeng magdoble. Hindi pwedeng may mawala. Kasi pag may nagdoble, kunyari, ikaw, nagbayad ka. Yung sunod na nagbayad sa'yo, parehas kayo ng official receipt number. May problema doon. Kasi dapat isa lang. Pag mechanical naman ang ginagawa, or yung mga electronics, pwede. Kasi di ba meron na sa inyo, siguro meron sa inyo sa mga parents nyo, nagbabayad ng housing loan, or any contribution sa government, sa SSS, sa Pag-ibig, sa bangko nagbabayad. Ang bangko, hindi na naman bibigyan ng official receipt ng government agency. Ang bibigay lang sa iyo doon ay, bibigyan ka lang doon ng reference number. Yung mga yon, need mo na ng approval ng COA. Before yung government agency gumamit ng electronic. Next, at no instance shall temporary receipt be issued to acknowledge the receipt of public funds. Ito po yun ha. Kanina nga sabi nga, no, parang lang yan eh. No payment, no receipt. Di lalo na dito, wala daw or hindi daw pwede mag-issue ng temporary receipt. Next is pre-numbered ORs or official receipts shall be issued in strict numerical sequence. All copies of each receipt shall be exact copy or a carbon reproduction in all respect of the original. Basically, ang official receipt ng government, kada isang reference number, 3 copies. First, or the original copy, para yun sa payee. Next, payor. Sorry, payee. Original copy is galing kay payor. Second copy, COA copy for audit purposes. Third copy, yung mismong management or government agency. So, 3 copies yan. Yung 3 copies na yun, pre-numbered yun. Kung ano yung number nung isa, pare-parehas ng number yun. Dapat, kung ano yung nakasulat dun sa original, yun din yung nakasulat dun sa ibang copies na isasubmit mo kay COA at saka yung i-maintain ng mismong agency. Bawal yun i-reproduce kasi nga pre-numbered. And it is issued in numerical sequence. Papaano po? Kunyari sa isang government agency, pupunta po ako kay Pag-ibig. Nakita ko po doon kay Pag-ibig is that meron po silang 4 na cashier. Yung 4 na cashier po ba yon? Isa lang po ang ginagamit na sequence. Sabi niyo po kasi dyan, numerical sequence. Yes, numerical sequence. Pero it's not possible na yung 4 na yon, isang booklet ang ginagamit. Kasi mas mahihirapan mag-account sino ang gumamit ng ganitong sequence. Ang ginagawa, itong booklet 1, ikaw cashier 1. Booklet 2 sa'yo. Booklet 3 sa'yo. Booklet 4 sa'yo. Pero in numerical sequence mo, cashier 1, sunod-sunod yan sa booklet 1. Kasi mas mahirap, mas mahirap mag-monitor kung iisang booklet silang 4 na cashier ang gumagamit. Paano pag may nawala? Sino or kanino natin hahanapin yung nawawala? So that is for the pre-numbered OR. Next is an officer, charged with collection of revenue or the receiving of money payable to the government shall accept payment for taxes, dues, and other indebtedness to the government in form of checks issued in a payment of government obligation upon proper endorsement and identification of the payee or endorsee. Pwedeng magbayad ng cheque sa gobyerno. Minsan pa nga, kunyari sa Pag-ibig, hinihingan ka ng 12 checks or PDC, tawag nila, post-dated checks. Para sa 12 monthly amortizations mo po, sir. Magbigay ka po sa amin ng 12 PDC mo. Pwede yun, i-accept natin. Basta, tama yung nakalagay doon sa cheque, properly endorsed, at saka makikita kanino yung payee. The question, ma'am, sino yung payee na ilalagay namin doon sa official receipt? Ako ang collecting officer, ako si cashier. Sa akin ba ipapangalan yung cheque? Ma'am, hindi po. Kay cash. Hindi pwedeng nakalagay doon. Payable to cash. Nakakita na ba kayo ng cheque? Yung I promise to pay. Meron doon. Payable to, hindi mo pwedeng ilagay doon cash. Pag nilagay mo cash, kahit sino pwedeng in-cash nung cheque. Pag cash ang nakalagay doon, anyone could in-cash the check. And ano daw ang nilalagay dito? Ang ilalagay mong payee doon is the name of the government agency. Kunyari, SSS. Ilalagay mo doon, SSS. Or Social Security Services. Pag-ibig Fund. Ilalagay mo doon, Pag-ibig Fund or HDMF. Unless, pag nagkaroon kayo ng anak, ang gawin nyo is, ang pangarap ko sa anak ko is magtrabaho sa gobyerno. Tapos may criminal mind ka. Gusto ko, makakakuha siya ng maraming pera sa gobyerno. Gusto accountant siya or collecting officer siya. Pangalanan mo yung anak mo ng kung anong agency mo siya gustong magtrabaho. Yan, gusto mo siya magtrabaho sa SSS. O di pangalanan mo ng SSS yung anak mo. Pwede niya yung i-encash. Okay? So, but basically, checks, pwede yung accept ng mga collecting officer, but it should be properly endorsed and the identification ng payee at saka endorsee is nakalagay doon sa cheque. Next, at no instant should money in the hands of the collecting officer be utilized for the purpose of cashing private checks. Cashier. Siyempre, sabi nga natin, pwedeng cheque, pwedeng cash. So, may collection siya, checks. May collection siya, cash. Ang collection niya in cash, umabot na, tanghali pa lang, umabot na ng, sabi natin, 1.6 million in cash. So, may mga cheque dito, nakapangalan rin naman doon sa agency. So, wala tayong problema doon. Ngayon, yung friend mo, lumapit sa'yo, friend, kailangan ko ng pera. Hindi ako makapag-withdraw. Pwede ba akong mag-encash ng cheque dyan sa'yo? Meron kang mga 1.6 million dyan. Eto yun At no instance na yung pera from collecting officer na mayu-utilize para mag-encash ng private checks. Yan. And last, we have, under such rules and regulation as the COA and the DOF may prescribe, the Treasurer of the Philippines or BTR and all AGDB or Authorized Government Depository Bank shall acknowledge receipts of all funds received by them and the acknowledgement bearing the date of the actual remittance or deposits and indicating from whom and on what account it was received. Di ba nga sabi natin, collecting officer, i-collect mo. Sunod, i-remit mo. All remittance, ikaw BTR, ikaw AGDB, mag-issue ka ng acknowledgement receipt kay agency na na-remit sa'yo yung pera. Yan yung last fundamental principle for revenue. So let's go to the sources of revenue ng government. Revenues may arise from exchange and non-exchange transaction. Okay. Sources of revenue may arise from exchange and non-exchange transactions. Exchange transaction are transaction in which one entity receives assets or services or has liabilities extinguished and directly gives approximately equal value to another entity in exchange. Parehas halos ang value. Exchange transaction. Nag-render ako sa'yo ng serbisyo. Nagbenta ako sa'yo ng product. Nagbayad ka sa akin for the product. Exchange transaction. The value of the money and the value of the consideration and the value of the asset or the services in exchange of the consideration is of equal value. Exchange transaction ang tawag doon. Pag non-exchange, ang example na niyan is sale of goods, rendering of services. Doon naman sa non-exchange, syempre, pag exchange equal value, pag non-exchange, these are transaction in which an entity either receives value from another entity without direct giving approximately equal value in exchange, or gives value to another entity without directly receiving approximately equal value in exchange. Naka-receive ka ng lupa, wala kang binayad, non-exchange yun. Naka-receive ka ng kotse, nagbayad ka 10,000, non-exchange yun. Naka-receive ka ng services, wala kang binayad, non-exchange yun. Example, tax revenue, fines and penalties, and donation. Ma'am, bakit po ang tax revenue is wala po, hindi po siya exchange transaction? Kasi nga sabi natin sa exchange transaction of equal value. Nagbayad ka ng income tax mo kay BIR. Ano yung services na binigay sa'yo ng BIR? Mabavalue mo ba yung services na binigay sa'yo ng gobyerno? Hindi po. Then, it's a non-exchange transaction. Ma'am, bakit po? Ano po ba yung na-receive ko in exchange of the tax revenue? You receive general services from the government. In exchange of the taxes, you receive general services. Kaya ang tawag sa kanya, non-exchange transaction. So, simulan natin sa exchange transaction. Example niya, sale of goods. These are revenue from sale of goods shall be recognized when all of the following conditions are satisfied. Okay lang mo ito i-recognize? Una, when there is a significant risk and reward of ownership of the goods are transferred to the buyer, the entity does not retain continuing managerial involvement or effective control over the goods sold, it is probable that economic benefits will flow to the entity, revenue can be measured reliably, and the cost relating to the transaction can be measured reliably. Alam mo magkano yung cost of sales, magkano yung sale, and then alam mo kung kailan magiging matatransfer yung ownership doon sa buyer. And then, from the point na na-transfer yung ownership to the buyer, that's the point na magre-record ka ng sale of goods. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito sa slide na to is the recognition criteria. Next, what is the recognition criteria naman for rendering of services? Revenue from rendering of services is recognized on a straight line basis over the contract term. Ano po ba yung example ng rendering of services? Lagyan natin ng example. For example, si GSIS. GSIS, one of its mandate, insurance. provide insurance. Si government agency, all government agencies are required. Sorry, wait. All government agencies are required to have their assets, all of their assets, be insured. Ano to property, plant and equipment, or physical asset. All government agencies are required by law to be insured kay GSIS. Magbabayad yan isang taon. Magbabayad yan isang taon. Magbabayad si government agency isang taon for insurance. Kanino? Kay GSIS. Ngayon si GSIS, i-record niya ba agad as income yung premium na na-receive niya? Hindi. Yung premium na na-receive niya, i-recognize niya yon on a straight line basis depending on the term nung insurance. So, straight line basis over the contract term. However, revenue is recognized by reference to the stage of completion. Pag naririnig yung stage of completion, naalala nyo yung construction contracts. If the outcome of the transaction can be estimated reliably, such as when all of the following conditions are satisfied. Diba? Basic, straight line. Pero pwede daw stage of completion. Pero kailan? Una, when the stage of completion can be measured reliably, alam mo yung percentage of completion. Next, it is probable that economic benefits will flow to the entity and revenue can be measured reliably and the cost relating to the revenue can be measured reliably. Ito, nagagamit sa mga construction contracts. But also, paano po pag hindi namin malaman yung stage of completion sa mga construction contracts? When the outcome cannot be estimated reliably, revenue is recognized only to the extent of recoverable cost. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Sa una, kung ang stage of completion, alam mo, or the outcome, alam mo, record ka ng revenue based on the stage of completion. Pag hindi mo alam, revenue equals cost incurred. Ay, ganun po. Paano po yung profit? Kailan po kami magre-recognize ng profit? After all cost is ma-recognize mo na as revenue. So, ang mangyayari, cost muna, wala ka pang profit. Yung profit, sa dulo na. Yun yung tinatawag natin. Yun yung sinasabi dito na pag hindi mo alam yung outcome. How about interest, royalties, and dividends? Interest is recognized on a time portion basis. Recognized on a time portion basis that takes into account the effective yield on the asset. Effective interest rate ang ginagamit sa pag-recognize ng interest income. Ma'am, paano po yung yung stated interest? Yung nasa face ng financial instrument. Sabi niya, nag-invest ka sa bonds for 8%, pero yung effective interest rate niya is 7%. So, interest income recorded for the year napupunta sa computed at 7% effective interest rate. Royalties is recognized as they are earned in accordance with the substance of the relevant agreement. And dividends are recognized when the entity's right to receive the payment is established. Kailan yun? Upon declaration of dividends. Nyari si government agency, meron siyang investment into sa private private entity. Kailan siya magre-record ng dividend income? Pag nag-declare yung private entity. Ma'am, pwede po ba mag-invest ang government sa mga private? Yes, sa stocks. Pwede. Mag-yield ng dividend. Sa measurement naman, measurement of revenue from exchange transaction, Paano natin mini-measure? Revenue from exchange transaction are measured at fair value of consideration received or receivable. Nag-render ka ng service. Pinabayad sa iyo notes receivable. Walang interest or hindi stated yung interest rate. Kung magkano ba yung kung magkano yung notes receivable, yun yung mismong revenue. For that specific service, yes. But meron ka na namang i-measure na or meron ka na namang i-record na another revenue. Pwede, interest, income. So, yun yung dyan. Una muna, it is measured at fair value. Any trade discount and volume rebates shall be taken into account. Paano siya iti-take into account? Trade discount, volume rebates, deducted agad-agad. Lagyan natin ng example. Entity A is authorized to print accounting manuals for sale to other NGA. Assume that on July 16, 2014, Entity A sold accounting manuals on account with the list price of 100,000 pesos. Less trade discount of 10, 10, 5. The invoice price of the merchandise is computed as follows. So, 100,000 less 10%, less 10%, less 5%. Or you can compute it as 100,000 times 90% times 90% times 95%. Same ang magiging sagot dyan, 76,950. So, ano yung journal entry natin? Debit, accounts receivable, credit, sales revenue, hindi 100,000 kundi 76,950. Dinidak agad yung trade discount at saka volume discount. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba ng volume discount at saka trade discount? Volume discount, may discount ka kasi marami yung binili mo. Trade discount, may discount ka kasi bumili ka. Pwedeng bumili ka ng isa, pero may discount agad. Trade discount ang tawag doon. Pero, meron ka nakikita sa SM nakalagay doon. Buy 3, less 10%. Ang tawag doon, volume discount. May nakalagay doon, sale, 50% off. Tawag doon, trade discount. Are they the same in terms of accounting treatment? Yes, they are deducted right away. Paano naman when cash flow are deferred? Paano yung deferred? Hulugan, installment. The fair value of the consideration is the present value of the consideration receivable. Kunyari, nag-render ng service yung government agency. Sabi doon, babayaran nag-render ng service for 1 million. Babayaran mo ko payable in 5 years. With payable in 5 years. So, first year, babayaran mo ko 200, second year, 250, third year, 250, fourth year, 250. And then, last year, or fifth year, 250. So, magkano na yun? 200, 250, 250, 250. So, meron kang, ang total na binayad mo is 1.2 million. Yung services naman na binigay, magkano yung makukolect ng government agency? 1.2 million. Magkano ba yung service in exchange? 1 million lang. Saan mapupunta yung 200,000? 200,000 is not i-record as sales revenue or service revenue. Another revenue will be recorded. Anong tawag doon? Interest income. The revenue to be recognized is the fair value of the consideration. And any difference between the cash receipt and the fair value of the consideration is recorded as financial income or interest income. Example natin dyan, ito. Assume that on August 5, 2015, Entity A received 60-day 9% 12,000 promissory note from X. Entity for accounting manual sold. On October 4, 2015, Entity X paid in cash in settlement of its note. So, ano yung journal entry? Noong August 5, naka-receive siya, notes receivable, 12,000. Credit sales revenue. October 4, nagbayad na. Magkano yung total collection niya? The total collection is 12,180. Yung 180 is for the interest income. Credit notes receivable 12,000, credit interest income 180 pesos. Ma'am, bakit po dun sa August 5 ang tawag dito? Ang record po na sales revenue is 12,000. Yun, ibig sabihin po ba, yung 12,000 is the fair value of the consideration? Yes. Kasi meron siya, parang ano lang to eh, stated yung interest. Di ba sabi natin sa notes receivable, if it is stated ang interest rate niya and it's equal, kasi dito inassume natin, wala nang sinabi kung effective interest is equal or not equal dun sa interest rate. So, assume natin equal. If equal yung stated interest at saka effective interest rate, the face of the notes receivable is equal to the fair value of the financial instrument. So, kaya sales revenue, 12,000. How about naman, nag-render ka ng services, pero in exchange of goods or service. Paano ang recording doon? If the exchange of goods is similar, okay? Similar yung pinag-exchange. Parang ganito lang yun eh. Bigyan mo ako ng bigyan mo ako ng lapis, bibigyan din kita ng lapis. May revenue? Wala. Similar eh. Paano pag dissimilar? May revenue na. Bigyan mo ako ng lupa, bibigyan kita ng kotse. Paano po minimeasure yung revenue? Una, priority to ha, fair value of goods or service received. Adjusted by the amount of any cash transferred. Sunod, pag wala naman yung fair value ng asset received or goods or services received, paano mo i-record yung revenue? Fair value of goods or services given up. Prioritization to. Una, pag ang transaction is for exchanges of goods and services na similar, goods and services, no revenue is recognized kasi parang parehas lang yun eh. Walang effect, financial effect, or walang economic effect sa both agency or both entity. Pero pag dissimilar goods and services naman, meron ng revenue, pero may prioritization. How do revenue is recognized or measured? It is measured, una, fair value of the goods and service received. Pag wala yon, fair value of goods and services given up. So that is for exchange transaction. So, ma'am, sino-sino po yung mga government agency? O yan, sino-sino po yung mga government agency na merong mga exchange transaction? Halos marami naman. Example natin, GSIS. Nag-render siya ng service, insurance, babayaran siya premium. Pag-ibig Fund, nagpapautang siya in exchange of interest. SSS, nagbabayad ka ng premium in exchange of insurance and pension. NHA, tama. NFA, ma'am, sale of goods. May problema. Is the value, yan ha, sa NFA tayo, is the value nung bigas at yung consideration paid equal. Diba ganun pag exchange transaction, almost equal or the same for exchange transaction. Ma'am, paano po yun? Mahal po yung bili ng gobyerno dun sa bigas, pero binebenta niya lang po ng mura. Papasok na yung non-exchange transaction. Non-exchange transaction are revenue that are derived mostly from taxes, fines, penalties, gifts, donation, and goods and kind. So, una muna natin, tax revenue. Ano na yung mga type of taxes? Income tax. It is ang ibig sabihin ng taxable event dito, ito yung recognition point nung mismong tax revenue. Pag merong earning of taxable income, example ng income tax is yung sweldo mo. Pag sumisweldo ka, meron tax. Ano yung taxable event doon? Yung mismong pag-incur ng income mo, ng mismong sweldo. O, yun yung taxable event. Value-added tax, undertaking of taxable activity. Kailan yung taxable event? Pag meron ng exchanges, pag merong sale, may VAT. Pag nag-render ng service, may VAT. Taxable event. So, anong ibig sabihin? Recognize ka ng tax revenue pag merong ganon. O recognize ka ng VAT income pag merong exchanges, trades, goods and services tax, purchase or sale of taxable goods and services, custom duty, movement of goods and services across the custom boundary. Ma'am, meron po bang custom duty pag kunyari, nagpadala po ako ng product papuntang Mindanao, nandito po ako sa Luzon? Hindi. Kasi hindi naman yan tumawid ng boundary ng Pilipinas. Kaya lang nagkakaroon ng custom duty galing import or export transaction. Tumawid, papunta at palabas ng Pilipinas. Custom duty. Death duty. Death of the owner of the taxable property. Ano yung taxable event? Nung namatay. Kaya ang tawag dyan, estate tax. Yan. Next is proper. Iba yung death duty at saka yung estate tax sa donor's tax. Sa donor's tax, buhay yung nagbigay. Sa estate tax, patay ang nagbigay. Kailan mo itatax yung donors? Kailan magkakaroon ng donors tax? Pag nag-donate, pag nag-contribute without consideration, pag nagbigay without consideration, donation, donors tax. That is the taxable event. Sa estate tax, ano yung taxable event? Namatay siya. Walang ipapamana niya. Taxable event, yung pagkamatay. Okay? Next, property tax. Passage of time period for which the tax is levied. Example, RPT or real property taxes. Lumipas ang isang taon, bayad ka ng amilyar. Lumipas ulit ng another period, bayad ka ng amilyar. Property taxes. So that is for tax revenue. How about gifts, donation, and goods in kind? It is recognized as revenue measured at fair value when it is probable that future economic benefit will flow to the entity. I-record mo yung gifts na na-receive, yung donation, and goods in kind na na-receive ng government agency at fair value. If, for example, the donation is without condition, revenue is recognized immediately. But if the donation is with condition, it is initially recognized as liability and recognizes revenue when the condition is satisfied. example. Sabi ng private entity o government, sa'yo na yung portion of land na yan. Pero, okay, pero, hindi mo, pero ano lang yan, gagawin lang po yung terminal. Yun lang po. Ibibigay ko sa inyo, pero gagawin mong terminal. Gagawin, initially, pagka-sign ng deed of donation, i-record na ba as income from donation? Hindi pa, kasi may condition. Magiging income lang yan pag na-meet na yung condition. So, initially, the donation is recorded as liability. Other example of non-exchange is service in kind. Sabi diyan, ma'am, it is not recognized as revenue po sa government. Why? Ano ba example ng service in kind? Service in kind, example niyan ay yung mga volunteers. Volunteer sa school, volunteer teacher, volunteer doctors, sa mga mission, hindi po natin nire-recognize yun as revenue. Ano lang, ini-encourage na encourage na i-present sa note. But it is not recognized in the book. Next, debt forgiveness. Wala ka kasing binayad sa utang. Anong nangyari? From liability to revenue. Ang debit niyan, debit payable, credit income. Debt forgiveness. So, ano yung amount? It is recognized as carrying amount of the debt forgiven ang amount ng revenue. Bequest. Transfer made according to the provision of the deceased person's will. It is recognized as revenue measured at fair value if the asset recognition criteria is met. Yung paano po ba yan, ma'am? May mga nangyayaring ganyan. May mayaman. Walang heir. Walang tagapagmana. Walang kamag-anak, pero mayaman. Namatay. Saan mapupunta yung property? Sa government. Another. May mayaman. Gumawa ng will. Sabi doon, itong portion of land na to, itong parcel of land, will be contributed to the government. Kapag ako namatay, bequest ang tawag doon. Recorded at fair value of the asset or of the asset received. Grants with condition. Yan na yung sinasabi kanina, grants or donation. Recognized initially as liability. Magiging revenue lang when the condition is satisfied. Next, pledges. Not recognized as revenue. Bakit hindi nire-recognize? Unenforceable promise yan eh. Parang nung Yolanda, sabi, di ba naalala niyo nung Yolanda sa TV, ganito na daw yung donation na nare-receive ng Pilipinas. Ganito na. Every hour, parang may nagpa-flash sa TV. Ganito ng amount. Ganito na. Parang palaki ng palaki. Karamihan naman dun, pledges. Should the government, pag-flash dyan, nung may tumawag sa kanila, i-recognize agad ni accountant. Recognize tayo. Debit receivable, credit income from donation. Hindi, pledges lang kasi yun. Kailan lang natin i-recognize yun? Kapag na-receive mo na. Ang tawag na doon, hindi na pledges, donation na. Next is concessionary loans. Sa concessionary loans, ito yung market interest rate. Kunyari, market interest rate is 12%. Si government agency, nakapag-kontrata siya, binigyan siya ng interest rate, nangutang siya, binigyan siya ng interest rate 2% lang. But the market interest rate is 12%. Concessionary loans yun. Difference between fair value and the transaction price is recognized as revenue. Yung difference sa interest rate, revenue mo yun from concessionary loans. Yan. Revenue is not adjusted of any impairment. Example sa receivable. Impairment losses and allowances for impairment losses. O, di ba ang kulit ng ano ng topic? Impairment losses, slash mo dun na, impairment losses, siya si expense account. And allowance for impairment losses, siya si contra asset account. When an amount already received recognized as revenue, kunyari receivable, interest income, credit interest receivable, or tama, debit interest income, credit interest receivable. Pag naging doubtful na yung collection, hindi po ina-adjust yung interest income. Ay yung tama, hindi ina-adjust yung interest income. Ano ang ginagawa? Sabi natin nag-recognize ka ng interest income na interest receivable na for this period or this month, recognize ka 50 million. Nakita, hindi pala magbabayad dyan yung 10 million. Tatanggalin mo ba yung i-reverse mo ba debit interest income, credit interest receivable? Hindi. The doubtfulness of the account should be recognized as expense. Anong expense? Debit, impairment losses, credit allowance for impairment loss. It is recognized as expense rather than as an adjustment to the revenue originally recognized. So, yan po yung mga revenue from non-exchange transaction. So, tapos na tayo dun sa portion ng revenue. Diba, nahati yung chapter na to sa dalawa. We will discuss revenue and other receipts. What are other receipts na sinasabi sa government? Una, subsidy from national government and other national government agencies. Paano inire-recognize? Recognize as revenue from assistance and subsidy. Pero hindi siya recognized as revenue from sales or revenue from business income. Revenue from assistance and subsidy. Itong nasa baba, itong receipt from excess of cash advance, overpayment of expenses, performance bond and security deposits, collection on behalf of other entities, and inter or intra-agency fund transfer, they are not recognized as revenue, but it is recognized as receipts only. Lagyan natin ng mga example. Una, receipt of NCA. Diba sabi natin hindi siya revenue from business income, but rather subsidy from national government. So, kunyari, to recognize receipt of NCA for regular agency fund, debit, cash MDS regular, credit subsidy from national government agency. Guys, ito for this, for government accounting, ito yung i-memorize mo. Kasi sometimes in the board exam, ito lang yung tanong. What is the entry in the recognition of NCA? Ito na yun. Debit, cash, MDS, regular, credit, subsidy from national government. Ito lang. Minsan, isa lang tanong. Minsan, madami. But basically, dapat alam mo to. Next, special account, debit, cash, MDS, special account, credit, cash treasury agency deposit special account. Debit, Debit, cash MDS, trust, credit cash treasury agency deposit, trust. Kung maaalala mo, si NCA ay tinatawag nating disbursement authority. Nasa chapter 2 yun, budget. Tama. Nasa budgetary accounting. NCA is a disbursement authority. Kasama niya si NCAA. Paano ba pag nagkakaroon ng NCAA? Ang entry niya, debit accounts payable, credit subsidy from national government. NCAA is non-cash availment. Okay? Non-cash availment. Non-cash availment allocation. Parang ganun. Non-cash availment. Sino ang nagbabayad ng liability mo? It is the treasury. Ang tawag dyan, direct payment. Direct payment because the creditor of the agency kay Bureau of Treasury naniningil. Ang gagawin mo lang, bibigyan ka ng NCAA ni Bureau of Treasury, tingnan mo. Instead, kanina 'di ba? Cash ang na-receive mo for NCAA kasi naka-receive ka ng cash. But in NCAA, wala ka na-receive cash. Kasi nga, non-cash availment. Instead, extinguishment of the liability. Debit accounts payable credit subsidy from national government. Another disbursement authority is the CDC or the Cash Disbursement Ceiling, which is only applicable, kung naaalala nyo, it's only applicable for government agency with foreign post. So, may mga foreign post lang. Hindi yan pwede dito sa government, ay sa Philippines. Yung may nandun lang sa ibang bansa na government agency, katulad ng DOF, DFA, OWA, DOLE, yan. So, pwede silang gumamit ng CDC. Ano ba yung Cash Disbursement Ceiling? Ito yung authority na binibigay ni DBM sa mga government agency in foreign post na pwede nilang gamitin yung mga collection nila in foreign currency sa current operation nila. Lagyan natin ng mas malinaw na discussion. So, in our example, to recognize collection of revenue from foreign transaction, kunyari, debit cash, collecting officer, credit passport and visa fees. 100,000, credit 100,000. Mapapansin mo sa account code, yung 1 is asset, 4 is income or revenue. Ito, sa foreign post yan ha, collection in foreign post. Next, syempre sabi natin kanina, all collection i-remit. In this case, hindi. Kasi nga binigyan ka ng authority na gamitin yung pera. Instead na i-remit, deposit. I-deposit mo ngayon. Saan? Syempre, foreign currency yung na-receive mo. Kaya dito, cash in bank, debit cash in bank, foreign currency, current account, credit cash collecting officer, 100,000. So ngayon, naka-receive ka na ng CDC. Sabi ni DBM, from that 100,000, you can use 80,000. So debit, cash constructive income remittance. As if binigyan ka ng cash. Kaya constructive income remittance. 80,000. Credit, subsidy from national government. 80,000. Ito yung parang kanina sa NCA. The difference, ito hindi cash MDS regular. Hindi siya accounts payable. But instead, cash constructive income remittance. So, ngayon, since may pera ka na, pwede ka nang gumastos or magbayad or mag-disburse. So, syempre, magdi-disburse ka, debit, expenses, number 5, ayan Number 5 also, 50, 80. Credit, cash in bank. Kasi ano ba ipambabayad mo? Ito. Hindi po ito ha. Hindi si cash constructive income remittance, but cash in bank, foreign currency, current account. That is for the book of the agency. But in the books of BTR, ito yung entry mo. Ang entry mo is debit subsidy to NGA. Ito yung nire-refer dyan. Yan. Ito yung kakontra niyan. Ito. Debit subsidy to NGA, 80,000. Credit cash constructive income remittance, 80,000. That is for CDC. Next natin, another kind of receipt is receipt of subsidy or assistance from other NGAs, LGUs, GOCCs, and other funds. Parang ganito yan eh. Isang government agency naka-receive ng assistance from another agency. Or si national government agency nagbigay kay local government agency. Vice versa. Anong entry? Debit, cash collecting officer, syempre naka-receive ka. Credit, kung ano yung klase ng income, pwedeng galing sa subsidy, pwedeng galing sa assistance, pwedeng galing sa assistance. Merong kanya-kanyang account title, hindi pwedeng isang account title ang gagamitin mo for the whole 100,000. And take note that the collecting officer shall issue OR or official receipt upon receipt of cash, subsidy, or assistance. And remember, when you collect, you deposit. When you collect, you remit. Kaya sunod, remittance, cash, treasury agency, deposit, trust. Nakatrust ha. Okay? Hindi regular. Cash, treasury agency, deposit, trust. Hindi regular. Why not regular? Kasi ito, subsidy sa'yo. This will also be returned through NCA by BTR sa'yo. Ibabalik uli yan sa'yo kasi subsidy yan sa'yo or assistance sa'yo. Kaya nakatrust. Yan. Credit Cash Collecting Officer. So, yan po yun. For receipt of subsidy or assistance from national government or local government or GOCC. Another transaction for receipt, na dishonor yung cheque. Kanino kayang cheque? Ito. Cheque ni client or cheque ng government agency mismo? Kanino kayang cheque ito? Government agency or our clients? Answer, it is the client's checks. Sorry. Tingnan natin, bakit client? Unang transaction, na-dishonor yung cheque. So, ang gagawin mo, ika-cancel mo yung official receipt na inisyo mo kasi nga na-dishonor yung cheque. Debit accounts receivable, credit cash, treasury agency deposit, regular. Ay, ma'am, bakit po ganun yung, entry? Bakit po ang credit niya, cash, treasury agency deposit, regular? Why? Upon collection of check, ang unang entry mo dyan, debit cash, collecting officer, credit, receivable, or income. Tama? Debit cash, collecting officer, credit, income, or receivable. Sabi nga natin, when you collect, you remit. So, i-remit mo ngayon. Debit, cash, treasury agency, deposit, regular. Credit, cash, collecting officer. Na-dishonor. Nasa na ba siyang account? Nandito na. Cash, treasury agency, deposit, regular. Kaya, upon cancellation, debit, accounts receivable, credit, cash collecting agent, cash, treasury agency, deposit, regular. So, ngayon, nagbayad na si, paano naman po, ma'am, kung sakasakali, yung na-dishonor na cheque ko is from prior year. Ma'am, pwede po ba yun? Yes, kasi meron naman tayong 6 months. Diba? 6 months naman yung validity ng cheque. Tama? From the issuance of check. Merong 6 months bago ma-stale yung cheque. So, pwedeng from last year yon. Isa po sa mga ina-adjust natin or kino-close natin in the government. Isa sa mga closing entry sa government o na unique sa gobyerno is the closing of the account cash, treasury, agency, deposit, regular. Why it is being closed? Because may cash ka, pero wala naman talaga sa'yo yung pera. Niremit mo na, di ba? Kaya yun, At the end of the period, kino-close po yun. Debit, government equity, credit, cash or accumulated surplus deficit, credit, cash treasury agency deposit. Kaya kung sakasakaling magkakaroon ng cancellation of checks from prior year or last year, anong entry? Sa i-cancel mo, magiging receivable, debit accounts, other receivable, credit accumulated surplus deficit instead na itong cash treasury agency deposit regular kasi na-close na yan last year. So, nasa na siya currently nasa na siya, nasa accumulated surplus deficit. So, mapupunta doon. Yun yung para sa cancellation. Ngayon, since na-cancel, magbabayad na ngayon ng panibago. So, upon payment, debit, cash collecting officer, credit accounts, other receivable, sabi nga natin, i-remit mo. Debit, cash, treasury agency deposit regular, credit, cash collecting officer. Yan is para sa dishonored check. Kaya kaninong check ito? Check ng kliyente na nagbayad kay government agency. Next receipt is, so another is cash overage or shortage of collecting officer. Si cashier ba magsasabi, shortage ako? Si cashier ba magsasabi, overage ako, may overage po ako? O kailan malalaman na may cash shortage at saka cash overage? Tama naman kayo. If the accountability is greater than or more than, greater than or less than the accounted. During audit lang. Okay? During audit. Kasi si cashier, hindi naman po yan. Hindi po yan magsasabi na may cash shortage ako. At the end of the day, pag may shortage yan, ang gagawin yan, aabunuhan niya. At the end of the day, pag may overage yan, baka bukas meron akong shortage. Diyan lang muna. Kailan tayo magre-record na may shortage at saka overage? Pag inaudit mo si cash. Tama ba? Which is applicable na yung sinasabi nyo. When the accounted for is greater than or equal or less than the accountability of the collecting officer. Kunyari daw is cash overage. Ano yung entry? Debit, cash collecting officer, credit, miscellaneous income. Magiging income ni government yung overage. Since nag-record ka ng cash collecting officer, yung overage, mag-i-issue ka ng official receipt. Parang as if nagkaroon ka ng collection. But, overage recorded miscellaneous income. Sunod, when you collect nga, remit. I-remit mo. Cash, treasury agency deposit regular, cash collecting officer. Madali pag overage. Paano pag shortage? Kulang yung pera. Nino? Ni collecting officer. Nag-audit. Nabilang namin kulang. Anong entry? Debit, receivable, due from officers and employee. Dun sa collecting officer, credit, cash collecting officer. Ma'am, bakit hindi cash treasury? Hindi cash treasury. Kasi yung on hand, ang inaudit mo, hindi mo man inaudit yung iniremit. Ang inaudit mo, tama ba yung nakokolekta mo dyan sa nasa pera mo, nasa kaha mo? So, hindi pa niya re-remit, tama? So, na kanino pa yung pera? Na kay collecting officer. Kaya ang credit, cash collecting officer. So next, siyempre magbabayad si cash collecting officer if magbabayad siya. Debit, cash collecting officer, credit due from officers and employee. And then, siyempre nakakolekta ka, i-remit mo. That is for cash shortage and overage ni collecting officer. Next natin, Okay, next natin is other receipts ulit. Pero, i-refer ko na kayo kay GAM. I-discuss ko pa rin. Don't worry, i-discuss ko pa rin. Wait lang. Tanggalin ko lang yung share. Punta tayo, refund naman ng cash advances. Actually, etong cash advances, madidiscuss kasi siya sa disbursement. But, ang discussion kasi sa disbursement is pag-disburse lang ng cash advance. There are different kinds of cash advances sa government. So, may kanya-kanya rin din siyang tawag. Ang i-discuss doon, papaano i-record yung pag-disburse. Ngayon dito, paano pag may excess? Siyempre may excess, may makukolekta ang gobyerno. Tama? Nagbigay ka ng cash advance na pera, pero ang nagastos lang, konti. So, si government may marireceive dapat na pera. So, there are different kinds of cash advances. Una, advances to officers and employees. Saan ginagamit? Kunyari, for official travel. Be it foreign or local. Advances for operating expenses. Saan ginagamit? Grant to regular disbursing officer for operating expenses of operating field units and foreign posts not maintaining complete set of books. Parang revolving fund. Advances yan. Guys, ang advances nililiquidate. Ang petty cash fund nire-replenish. Magkaiba yun. Okay? Magkaiba yung advances at saka petty cash fund. Petty cash fund, replenishment. Advances, liquidation. So, another type of advances for payroll. Yung kanina natin diniscuss or yung example kanina sa transaction, advances for payroll. For payment of salaries, wages, and other personnel benefits. Kasi ito po, ginagamit to kung ngayon kasi electronic na. Dati, yung magbibigay ka ng cheque, may tao na nagpapasweldo. Mag-i-issue ng cheque ang government, i-encash niya nung taong naka-assign. So, nakapangalan sa kanya yung advances. Siya yung nakapangalan doon sa advances for payroll. Siya rin yung magli-liquidate. So, bibigyan ng pera. So, siya magdi-distribute ng pera. Advances for payroll. Ngayon kasi, yung electronic. So, direct na napupunta sa accounts ng mga empleyado. Another form of advances to special disbursing officer for special purpose or time-bound undertakings. Example niyan, ang pinagkaiba ng operating expenses, eto regular. Yun nga lang, walang complete set of book. Kunyari, may mga nakikita kayo sa Robinson. Or, tama, meron kayo nakikita sa Robinson na isang government office. Pwede for marketing purposes. Tumatanggap lang ng mga applications, pero ipo-forward pa rin sa isang branch. So, hindi complete set of book. Kasi wala silang revenue, puro expenses lang sila. Not complete set of books. Hindi sila gumagawa ng sariling FS. Ano ang ibibigay sa kanila? Operating expenses or advances for operating expenses. Ang difference is special disbursing officer. Ikaw, accountable officer, ibibigay ko tong pera sa'yo kasi merong specific or special purpose. Anong example, ma'am, ng special purpose? Kunyari merong event, yung government agency. Hindi naman regular event yun. Hindi operating expenses. Special event. Kunyari ng special event, Christmas party. O kaya team building. Advances to special disbursing officer yun. So, yan yung mga klase ng advances ng government. It will be discussed kung paano ini-issue, ano yung rules pagdating sa advances, sa mga cash advances ng government sa susunod na chapter. But in this chapter, i-discuss natin paano pag may excess. So, nauna na muna yung excess. Ano yung entry sa atin? So, Upon liquidation of advances, and then may excess, ang debit niyan, syempre, cash collecting officer. Syempre, naka-receive si government agency. Credit kung anong klaseng advances yon. Yan. Kung anong klaseng advances yon. Since nakakolekta ka, sunod na entry mo, i-remit mo. Debit, cash, treasury agency deposit, regular, special or trust, depende. And then credit, cash collecting officer. So, ganun lang. Pag may excess, collecting officer, credit the advances. Sunod, i-remit mo, debit, yung normal. Cash, treasury agency deposit, regular, credit, cash collecting officer. Next, kind of receipt, performance bond or security deposit. Okay. Ang performance bond, galing kanino? Sino ang, sige nga, paki-comment, sino ang nag-i-issue ng performance bond dyan? Is it the government or contractor? Dalawa lang pagpipilian. Contractor po ang nag-i-issue or government? Comment down. Government or contractor? Wala. Wala? Okay, sige. Performance bond, in this case, it is issued by contractor. Si government agency, nakikipagkontrata kay third party. Ang tinatawag natin dyan, yun yung mga contractor or suppliers. In any agreement or contract ng government agency, for us to be ensured na gagawin ni contractor yung napagkasunduan natin sa kontrata, hihingi tayo ng security deposit or performance bond. Pero yung security deposit or performance bond, hindi atin yun. Parang deposit lang sa atin. Parang bumili ka ng Coke sa tindahan. Tapos, may bayad yung bote. May deposit yung bote. Para ma-sure yung tindera na ibabalik mo yung bote, hihingi siya sa'yo ng deposit. So, ganito rin yun. Para ma-ensure si government agency na gagawin niya yung kontrata, si government agency will ask for performance bond or security deposit. So, liability natin, hindi yan revenue. Receipt lang. Hindi revenue ni government. Ano? Liability. Kaya nga, ang debit dyan, debit cash collecting officer, credit guarantee security deposit payable. Guys, number 2 po ito, number 2. Hindi yan 1. Payable account yan. 2 yan, 2. So, debit, cash collecting officer, credit, guarantee security deposit payable. Liability natin. And then, syempre, nakakolekta ka, general rule, i-remit mo. Cash treasury agency deposit, trust po ha, trust, not regular. Why trust? Naka-interest lang yan sa atin. Hindi po yan, hindi po yan sa gobyerno. It is not the fund or revenue of the government that shall accrue to the general fund, but to trust fund, because it is our liability to our contractor. Nababayaran natin sila or ibabalik natin sa kanila yung security deposit or the performance bond upon completion of the contract. Yan. Another kind of receipt is refund of overpayment of expenses. Ito, nagbayad si gobyerno ng expense sobra-sobra or sobra lang. Receipts of refund from officers, employees, and suppliers resulting from overpayment of expenses. Ano entry? Debit, syempre. Cash collecting officer kasi naka-receive ka. Credit, specific expense account. And then, i-remit mo. Debit, cash treasury agency regular, credit, cash collecting officer. Yan. Ito naman, yung collection in behalf of another government agency. Parang ano yan? Tatlong entity ang pinag-uusapan natin. Government agency A, government agency B, and then yung payor. Okay? Government agency A, government agency B, payor. Si payor, dapat magbabayad siya kay government agency A. But instead, kay government agency siya, B, nagbayad. But si government agency B, dapat ibigay niya o remit niya kay A. So, collection in behalf of another entity. Paano yon? Kunyari si NGA, other than University of the Philippine Legal Research Fund. O, ito yun. UPLRF. Merong sarili. Sa book niya, syempre siya yung nangolekta. Cash collecting officer. Pero kanino niya wait lang. Nagbayad kay NGA. Pero para kanino? Para kay UP. So, ito yung another third party or another government agency. Pero nagbayad ka kay NGA. So, anong entry kay NGA muna? Debit, cash collecting officer, credit instead of income, kasi hindi mo na income, due to NGA. And then, since, sabi mo nga, ma'am, sabi mo, when you collect, you remit. Hindi naman sa'yo yon. Nangolekta ka lang, in behalf of another. So, anong gagawin mo? Cash treasury agency regular? Hindi. Debit due to NGA, credit, cash collecting officer. Ma'am, ang nangyari po ba, ibinigay ko po siya kay UP? Hindi. Ang nangyari dyan, ni-remit mo pa rin. Kasi nga, when you collect, you remit. Tingnan mo dyan, to recognize remittance of collection to BTR on the account of UP. Okay? Ulitin natin. This is in the book of the National Government Agency. Pero yung payment nung payor is para sa UP. Upon collection, debit, cash collecting officer, credit, syempre, due to NGA, which is UP. Upon remittance to BTR, due to NGA, credit, cash collecting officer. The difference here is that hindi mo ginamit yung cash treasury agency deposit regular because it is not your remittance. It is as if remittance of UP. So, sa book ni BTR, debit, cash, in bank local currency, savings account, credit, cash, treasury agency, deposit, trust. Sa book naman ni UP, tinan mo, nandito na siya. Cash, treasury agency, deposit. Diba as if siya ang nag-remit. Diba ito yung kanina, cash, treasury agency, deposit, regular, pero dito, trust. Kasi specific yung collection na ginagamit lang for research. Yung collection na na-collect dito, in this example, is gagamitin for research, kaya trust. Credit, trust, liabilities. So, yan po yung collection on behalf of another entity. Ito naman, intra-agency and inter-agency transfer. Ano pag pinagkaiba na intra at saka inter? Si intra-agency or intra-entity from head office to central office to branches to central office, vice versa, within the entity. Inter-agency or inter-agency, ano yan? From one agency to another agency. So, paano yung accounting niyan? So, ang debit dyan, debit cash collecting officer, kasi nag-transfer sa'yo. Credit, due to regional, central, operating, yan yung magiging kung saan nanggaling. Okay? Kaya due to. Credit, debit, cash collecting, credit due to. And then, syempre, naka-receive ka, naka-collect ka, sunod na entry, remit. Cash, treasury, agency, deposit, trust. Credit, cash collecting officer. Pag inter naman, galing from one agency to another agency. Naka-receive ka, cash collecting officer, credit due to NGA, due to LGU, due to GOCC. And then, i-remit mo. Cash, treasury agency deposit, and then credit, cash, collecting officer. So, yun lang para dito sa chapter na to.